Hello friends, Zaft here. And once again we are taking you on another journey to some old raids. We're still in our classic era, doing some classic raids. This is the last one of the section. There are two other technically classic raids. First is Onyxia, which was re-released in Wrath of the Lich King, and Naxxramas, which was also re-released in Wrath of the Lich King. Both of those will be covered in that expansion. We might do them first. But we're actually starting off with AQ40, or the Temple of Ahn'Qiraj. We're going to get there the same way that we have before, going to Caverns of Time, or, as I am an engineer, using my gadgets and teleporter to get there. Being an engineer is really helpful to do some of these old raids if you have like the portals to get to and from areas. As stated in our Ruins of Ahn'Qiraj video, if for whatever reason this zone, Silithus, has a giant sword in it, is completely desolate, you want to go to Zydormi up here and make sure that she turns it into the old zone. It's just a different phase, still same accessible raids. I'm actually not sure if the raids are accessible on that, but I keep it at this just so that I can grab some like fun rares. So with July going on, there is a bonus event called the Collector's Bounty. Dungeon and raid bosses, where is it? Jeez. Equipment drops are doubled, rare mounts and legendary drops are also increased. So we're going to see a lot of increased value from different dungeons that we're running in this series while it is July. This is July 2025 that this happened. A lot to work on. We got quests to do. There's zone drops, common boss loot. What we're going to focus the most on, though, is those boss drops. There's a couple of side bosses that you do not have to do, like Silithid Royalty,
Blast,
Oru, and Visidius, I think is what it's called. We're going to show different tips and strats for getting through all of those, though. For right now, let's just focus on getting through.
blast,
You want to make sure that you kill Prophet Zekharim. Picking up these Lord Insignias are great, as well as these coffer keys. Again, if you watched our AQ20 video, you know how to use those coffer keys. But for these insignias are used to turn into these. They all have quests for different Avenger sets. I didn't want this. They're pretty easy to get, especially if you're running these relatively often. I accidentally got some. Oh, I'll make sure to sell those. Oh, we're going to keep running down these stairs. Once you get down here, you're going to bang this left. This is a dungeon that is a little complicated to get through. Especially if you're trying to follow the map, because as you can see, this is really weird. But if you just follow along the way that I do things, should be easy. So this way is going to lead on into the dungeon, but again, we're going to stop and we're going to do our first optional boss. This is going to be the royal family. Now, each of the royal family members has one specific set of like drops that they do, but then there's also the common boss loot that drops. We're going to focus on them because we have the least amount that we need from them. Here's what you need to stress though. You need to kill these guys, leaving them for last.
blast,
But you need to really make sure that when you kill one of them, they are the only thing that dies, or else this happens. now we have soft locked. This is what you're trying to avoid. You really want to make sure that if you have anything that deals damage like that you are not using it as vehemently. You don't want to be AoEing these guys down. They will just stop and reset. With this going on, you're going to get a lot of mount drops. There's a blue, green, yellow, and red. There's an achievement for learning the red Karaji battle tank. And actually, I'll bring them up right now so that way you can see it. While we're waiting on them to respawn. Blue, green, red, yellow. There's an achievement for the red. And then the ultramarine one, which looks exactly like the blue one. This one is gotten from archaeology. Once again, let's try.
Blast.
So Princess gets devoured. Nice. It's devoured. And now we want to make sure we don't get stuck anywhere, because that'll also reset him. Now Vem is dead. Easy. Once they've been killed, then you can leave. I'm not going to hold on to as much, just because I don't have a lot of room. When you're doing these kind of like old zones that you're running through, you're gonna need a lot of bag space. You're gonna need it. I would recommend unloading stuff into a bank if you got it at the start of the run, but not necessary. This is gonna be a long one going through AQ. The good news is that you can mount up, so make sure to be using that mount. It used to, oh wait, I went the wrong way. Went too high. Silithid royalty, done. Next one is going to be Battle Guard Sartura. Battle Guard is pretty easy to get through. There are some zone drops, not super important. Just make sure to get through as much as you can without aggroing that much. You can, again, stop and kill stuff, especially if you need reputation with, I believe it's Brood of Nosdormu that you get from here. But can always work on that.
Blast.
Easy. Sartura, done. Next is going to be Ahn'Qiraj. So Ahn'Qiraj is at the end of this gauntlet. What you do is you go through and you try not to aggro any drones, and then you aggro some drones, and then you essentially train a bunch of drones into the Ahn'Qiraj area. If you're a DPS class, you really want to make sure you don't get stunned off your mount. Not because it does anything or you'll die, but it's just annoying. We're going to go right into Ahn'Qiraj, kill him, and then we're going to be waiting for all of these guys to show up to the party.
Blast.
Any sort of AoE that leaves something on the ground is perfect for these kind of mobs. They walk right into it, they die. No mas, no fuss. Make sure to loot. From there, we can either go up to Visidius or down to the rest of the instance. We're going to go this way to Visidius, and I'm going to show you a trick that we have. The first thing that you will need for this trick is a Pandaren water gun. I don't know where that's from. Pandaren geyser gun. The way that the geyser gun works is it will apply stacks of frost. Now, why does that matter? It doesn't do any damage. It doesn't do anything specifically. But what it needs is, it says it right here, the boss requires 20 frost hits to freeze. Once frozen, you need 30 melee hits to shatter him. It says equip the crate of kidnapped puppies or Barov's peasant collar and use it after the boss freezes to help. These are all very important things. Any sort of mob hits
Blast.
also count. But this is the first thing we're gonna do. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 15. This is obviously easiest on a Frost Mage or a Frost DK, but having the Geyser Gun is important for anybody who doesn't have Frost damage. You can also do like Frost enchants, is another thing.
Blast.
This is incidentally, this is the only way to kill. It doesn't matter how much damage you do or anything like that. All depends on the number of hits. It's freezing up. This is why it needs to be done perfectly.
Blast.
Oh, didn't work. If for whatever reason it doesn't work, that's totally okay if it doesn't. All you gotta do is leave. The only problem with this strategy is you really only get the one shot at trying to do it. If you can't make them crack, then that's it. Better luck next time. If for whatever reason you are a Frost Mage or you are a Frost DK, this is a great way for you to farm money. Fastidious drops a pet, and that pet sells really well. But seeing as how we can't do that for another half an hour, let's work on the rest of this and go to Princess Huhuran. Uru is the next optional boss. It's only the 3 optional bosses, and if you don't want to do them, you don't have to. Do 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 do. Can obviously go on a couple different classes and get some cool transmog, depending on almost like you're getting like a tier set. It's technically a set that comes out of here, as you can see in my appearances. If I scroll all the way down, the Avengers battle gear for my Temple of AQ. That's your Paladin set. It looks absurd.
Blast.
But it's ours. I think that's what matters. On Stinger. Nice. Maybe they'll ignore me if I have a B. So now we're gonna go to Twin Imps. It doesn't matter which one you kill first. All that matters is that they die. They also drop a pet, which you can get. Which is pretty cool. The Anubiseth idol is one of the is one of the kind of like the best pets that you can get. It's one of those like top tier, I would say like A or S tier pets. This is twin imps. This used to be a really tough fight. You had to kill them at exactly the same time. They had, you know, really rough mechanics.
Blast.
They also do that. There we go. Twin imps. Pretty easy. Drops a lot. This requires outland enchanting? That's interesting. Wonder who made that decision. Kalimdor's Revenge. It's a pretty sick looking weapon. After Twin Imps, we make our way down. There's a lot of running in this dungeon. It's just the way it goes. When it comes to these large raids, there's nothing else you can really try and do except run. I didn't realize they dropped a hat. This is funny. It's funny seeing like these kind of like pieces of gear. Not because like they're like insane, right? Because they're just funny. All that you gotta do for Uru is go over. You're gonna run over this little spot right here
Blast.
and kill him. It's an old boss. He has no health. 2 shells? Wow. That was nothing. I would have liked done Rigoberto's Lost Hat. I think that would have been a better drop to get. Oh, there go these guys. Remember, there are these mineable large obsidian chunks that drop off of these guys. Not important, not necessary. You don't always have to. Did I not pick something up? Oh, we had a green battle tank. We haven't seen any red or yellow battle tanks, which I think is interesting. Very weird. I'm gonna delete these. I don't need them. If you do need the battle tanks, I would recommend killing everything in the dungeon. Go nuts. Get weird with it. Kill everything. Looks like our guildmate Teach is doing some mythic Siege of Orgrimmar, trying to get the Kor'kron Annihilator out of that one. We approach this final boss that was proved to be mathematically impossible to do.
Blast.
Very crazy that it got to happen that way. Big Eye's gonna start. And then we just kill him. Pretty good. Also, Scepter of the First Prophet is also a pretty cool one-hander to have. That's really the beginning and end of everything. Make sure check out our next video. We're gonna be going to Outland, friends. Thanks for joining me on our journey through AQ 40. Doing some crazy nonsense. Make sure to check us out in the next one. I love you all, and later.